Hi everybody, we're here at John Sadler's Auto Repair. Today we have a 2004 BMW 325i. It's an M56 motor. Customer's concerned. When he has the parking brake on, the red light's on the instrument cluster. We take the parking brake off, the yellow light's on. So I followed all the procedures for that, and it means the steering angle position sensor is not in the right place. So I went through my scanner tool. I was able to locate a way to relearn that. I relearned that. It had a lot of other codes for air conditioning, all kinds of things, like 7 or 8 things. And I did a quick erase on my scan tool. That went into the only one that came back. And there's some other ones with some ride control, things like that. So anything that I could possibly relearn and recalibrate, I did. And I took it out and drove the car, parked it, shut it off, everything. The lights are staying off now, everything's working good. Then he asked for an inspection underneath to look and see how the vehicle's doing driving-wise. When you accelerate on a BMW and you give it some gas off a dead stop, and you feel like a rumbling, like a vibration underneath the seat in the center of the vehicle, that means the center bearing of the drive shaft's starting to go bad, and the drive shaft's flopping around a little bit. It's got that going on. If you accelerate hard, if you accelerate that normally, you barely feel it. The brakes all look pretty good. It's got good tires on it. And I was looking at the steering, and I noticed that these rack and pinion boots, there's a little bit of dampness here, but the boot has a split, has a tear in it. And then on the other side, the boot's torn right up by the steering rack itself. And so what happens is just allows debris from the road to get inside there. The vehicle's got a lot of miles on it. We don't want to fool around with that kind of a problem. But on these particular models, on a lot of steering racks, you can leave this tie rod assembly hooked up, and you take the clamp off of this, and you take this nut off, you mark it with some whiteout so you can get it back within a half a thread or wherever it was. Then you can turn this shaft, and when you turn this shaft, it'll come off of this section here without having to break it loose from there, because a lot of times you can damage a joint when you start breaking it loose from there. A little bit of dampness in the transmission pan, just a little bit of dampness where some fluid is there. We're going to clean it off for him. And the rest of the vehicle, for 205,000 miles on it, it's in pretty darn good shape. It drives down the road good. So we found a company called Febi, and they've got the steering boot kits. I was going to get them from Delphi, but it was going to take several days to get those. So we'll put that together, and we'll have a happy customer, and we'll sell him what he needs. Another shop wanted to take apart the steering column and replace that steering angle position sensor. It didn't need to be replaced, it just needed to be recalibrated. And the vehicle had new struts put in the front of it. So every time you take a vehicle suspension and move it around and have the vehicle on uneven surfaces and things like that, those sensors are super sensitive. And I think that's when the problem happened. He said it'd been on for a long time. But irregardless, we got the light off now. And if we have to do something in the future, we know a bunch of information about it. But I think we're pretty good to go. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.